What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a brand new series. We're coming in with the drug review series. Now, before I dive into that, I do want to mention real quick, first and foremost, I am not making these videos to encourage or promote any kind of drug use, no matter what the substance is. I don't recommend you do this. Don't try this at home. It's fucking stupid. I'm simply making this video for educational and informational purposes, and so you guys can hear from a former drug user standpoint what it's really like. So, hope you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do, and let me know in the comment section below if you want me to continue this series or not. And also, if you guys want to get $5 for free, as well as donate $5 to me without actually ever having to pay, check the link in the description. There's an app called Dosh you can download on your phone, and by downloading the app and linking your card to it, it doesn't charge you any money. It costs nothing. It's a cashback app. You are given $5 in cash back, and I also get $5 for you doing that. So we each get $5 free, and then on future purchases with the card you linked, you get cash back. That's actually kind of generous. I saw on there was like 9% cash back for like Chili's the other day. So if you and your boys are trying to go ball out at Chili's, hey, download Dosh. You get 9% back. That's a little cut. You could buy like a snack with that. But either way, let's dive into it. So I figured we'd start off with the classic. We'd start off with weed, because that's kind of the starting point. That's the starting point for a lot of drug use. A lot of people start with weed or alcohol. That's one of the two. And, this is going to be a kind of an interesting review. I'm going to give this a score out of 10 at the very end, as I will with all my other reviews. But we're going to do this in a pros and cons kind of style. That's how I've broken this one up, and I'm still deciding on the format here. So let's dive right the fuck into it. Now listen, all right? You guys know, I'm sure a lot of people watching this have probably smoked weed before, right? One of the biggest pros of bud is that shit's relaxing, okay? It's very relaxing, very calming. Whenever you're having a bad day, you could just smoke a little weed and you feel okay. Now, that's pretty much most of the time, unless you're smoking boof-ass brickweed Reggie, then you're not going to feel better, and you're going to feel like shit, and your head's going to hurt, and you're probably going to vomit and never smoke again. But luckily, you're not smoking brickweed Reggie, I hope, so you should be okay. Now, that's one of the biggest pros of it. The next one, easy to obtain, all right? There's some drugs that I'm going to review on this channel that are a fucking bitch to obtain, and I've only done a couple times because I was only ever able to get them a couple times, excuse me. But weed is one where you could honestly probably call up your long-lost uncle and be like, yo, you got some loud? And he's like, yeah, my plug will pull up. Just give me the address. He'll be there in 20. Everybody sells weed. Everybody has weed or knows a guy who sells weed. The most straight edge, upstanding Christian citizens know somebody who is slanging bud, all right? It's very, very easy to obtain. There's also no social stigma with it, excuse me. A lot of other drugs, for example, like crack, motherfuckers will call you a crackhead. You smoke meth, motherfuckers will just laugh at you. But with weed, it's like a pretty normal and accepted kind of thing. So it's like, all right, you don't look like a fucking idiot most of the time for smoking weed unless you act like a fucking idiot or you are a fucking idiot. Then that changes everything. The next thing that I feel is a big one is the risk factor of it, and I'm gonna mention this in all of my reviews, but the risk factor on weed is very, very low. There's not a very high risk of, especially health problems. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna, OD on weed. You're not gonna have to get taken to the ER because you smoked a blunt, unless you're tweaking the fuck out and you think you have to go to the ER, but you don't. And for the most part, it's a pretty tame, safe experience. Nobody's overdosed on weed. It's like literally not even fathomable to OD on weed or kill yourself with marijuana. It's like literally not fathomable. I was looking into it a little bit online. There was some varying shit, but you have to smoke just a disgusting amount of pounds of marijuana in a span of 15 minutes to do that. So all I can say is if you're capable of smoking yourself to death, then you are the new Chief Keef. You are the king of chiefers, because that's incredible. That is remarkable. I could not smoke a pound in a month. Well, no, actually, if I really I probably couldn't get through a pound in a month if I wanted to, because that's a lot of fucking bud now that I think about it. But either way, or at least alone I couldn't. But either way, it's very, very low risk. And on top of that, it's also pretty easy to maintain yourself when you're using it. A lot of drugs kind of suck dick in terms of effects on your life. You start getting lazy, you start fucking around acting like an idiot, your head gets messed up, you start slacking off at work or whatever. But weed's kind of a drug where, for the most part, it doesn't really fuck up your life like that. You know, like if you let it, if you let it make you lazy, if you let it make you slack the fuck off, then yeah, you know, weed can make you lazy. That's part of the relaxing effect of it, and in turn it can affect your life. But it's something that I found is much easier to control. Like, weed will make you feel lazy, but you still have the capability of telling yourself, all right, I need to bust my ass, and then going and doing it. As opposed to like popping 3 bars and walking into work in your tuxedo and being like, yeah, I'm gonna get some work done today. Nah, buddy. No. You're gonna be face down on the desk long after your shift is ended, and that's gonna suck dick. But that's another pro of it. And you know, it's also not really addictive. You know, it's definitely not physically addictive. The mental part, I'm a little iffy on. I feel like it's more a personality thing than the drug itself, because, you know, you can be mentally addicted to bud, but I mean, I personally have been, but I also feel that that's more of a personality trait than the drug itself. You know, I feel it's more of, if you have an addictive personality, then you'll get hooked on bud, than like, if you're just some average Joe, you have like a X% chance of getting hooked. It's like, I think it's more a personality trait. So I go with the not really addictive at all kind of thing. That's something that's pretty nice. As well as, from what I found, it's fairly easy to stop using, you know, if you choose to, that is. And it's also pretty affordable, you know, for the quantity you get, unless you're just wasting bud and just like packing 3 grams, 2 grams into a fucking blunt every single time, and then just like smoking half of it and just like throwing out the rest. It's pretty affordable, you know? Now, the cons, all right? Listen, motherfuckers gonna hate, motherfuckers gonna dislike, be like, listen, Goblin, did you dare talk shit about my marijuana? How fucking dare you? I'm going to X Cody's channel right now, and I'm gonna smoke a big fat blunt while I watch him smoke a big fat blunt and talk about your big fat idiot videos. Fuck you, Goblin, see you later, but hey, I gotta do it. So, the first and foremost con of weed that I think we can all mutually agree on here is it fucking sucks to conceal, alright? It's a pain in the ass if you need to conceal weed to deal with it. You know, a lot of other drugs, one of the pros of them is they're really easy to use or conceal or things of that sort. It's just convenient. Weed is not a convenient substance, all right? I know people are going to say, well, there's wax. You can get a wax tank. I'm talking about mainly bud. I'm focusing on bud here. I'm focusing on the flower, you know, and wax, you know, it's easier to conceal. It's way easier to conceal, but I'm focusing on the flower, all right? And it fucking sucks to deal with, let me tell you, you know, it's that smell. For people who smoke weed, you know, you might not notice it when you like walk into your room or walk into a room and you have weed or there's weed in the room. You know, for someone who smokes, it might not strike them. But for somebody who doesn't smoke, if you take a really long tea break, you start to notice the smell, and it's fucking strong. Even the smallest amount of weed can set off your fucking nose if you're a non-smoker, you know? When I took a long break from smoking and across my probation, you know, as I was, you know, maybe 7 or 8 months into it, I was at the gym one time, and there was these 2 dudes who walked in, and I smelled them before they even got through the doors. And then as I was walking through the parking lot, I smelled bud through the parking lot. So I was walking around trying to like figure out like, who's smoking a blunt out here? Like, I was kind of curious. And there was a car that was parked like 3 cars down from where I was that just had a jar of weed sitting in the back seat. And I smelled it like as soon as I walked outside of the gym. Like, I don't know if I got some like eagle nose type shit. Not eagle nose. That makes no fucking sense. Do they even have a nose? I don't know. But whatever animal has a fucking big nose, I was on that shit. All right. I don't know what animals have big noses, but I was on that shit. Whatever animal that is. And, you know, it can suck to conceal. As well as the tolerance, it goes up pretty quickly from what I found. You know, you're never really going to have that like first smoke kind of high or like that first high kind of feeling when you smoke. Sure, you'll get baked. You'll get more baked from some things than others. But at the end of the day, your tolerance is very, very difficult to kind of reset, you know, and it takes some time to go down, you know, with substances like LSD, it's really, really easy to lower your tolerance, you know, just take a break for like a couple days and you're good. With weed, I found that even if I don't smoke for like 4 or 5 days, it's not very different. You know, it's like my tolerance hasn't really gone very far. You know, I feel that I have to stop smoking for at least 2 to 3 weeks to a month if I really want my tolerance to go down to where I'd like it to be. And that's one of the big drawbacks of it. It can also take time to consume. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You know, like I mentioned earlier, shit's not convenient, all right? It's not convenient at all because I got to sit there, I got to roll up my blunt. Now, I'm a blunt smoker. I don't smoke joints, and I'm not too keen on glass. Not because I don't like glass, but because I end up breaking all my pieces because I'm a fucking moron. So I just decided to stop wasting money on glass one day. So, you know, for me, I always roll blunts, and I found that no matter the method that I use to smoke my bud, it can be pretty inconvenient because not only do you have to, set up everything you need to smoke, but then you have to figure out where you're going to smoke because unless you have the luxury of just chiefing in your house and not caring how bad it smells when the landlord pulls up or, when the mailman pulls up or whatever the fuck, then you got to think and you got to figure out like where can I smoke this where the smell will go away, and that's another big part of it. Moving on to the next con here, the smell in particular, this kind of ties into the hard to hide and conceal. That shit lingers, okay? That shit sticks to you hard as fuck. I mean, like, if you're wearing like a hoodie, right, and you just got your sleeves all the way down and you're holding a big fat wood and you're just smoking a blunt, right? Especially I found with cheaper wraps, this is more like prevalent, if that's the proper word for it. I think it is. I don't know. Maybe prominent. I don't know. But either way, I found with cheaper wraps like Swishers and White Owls, the smell sticks longer. But nevertheless, no matter what, if you're smoking bud, unless it's out of glass, then maybe you can get away with it. The smell lingers, especially indoors. If you were to hotbox your bedroom wearing like a hoodie and sweatpants with a blunt, you would walk out that bitch, and I guarantee 5 days later, you would walk in and still smell it. It would smell not as strong, but you would definitely still smell it. And for a non-smoker, that shit would linger for a long fucking time, a very long time. That shit really sticks. But besides those points, that's really the only cons I have to say about weed. Now, please note once again, after hearing this review, that I'm not encouraging anyone to try weed or any other substance found on this channel, and this is solely for educational purposes. But with that being said, my final rating here out of 10 points, 10 possible substance points, 10 possible Goblin banger hoot holler points on the scale of hoots and hollers, I'm going to have to place marijuana at a 9.3 out of 10. Now, that 0.7 being reduced is simply for the inconvenience, but the pros outweigh the cons. Therefore, I'm going to have to give it the 9.3 out of 10 on the crackhead scale. Hope you guys do enjoy this video, or did enjoy, excuse me. Drop a like if you did. Also, don't forget about Dosh if you guys want to get a free $5. That link's in the description. Got to be on your phone to do it. And also, let me know if you want to continue the series. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.